We've all seen the stories on the news about police officers, and the stories aren't so positive. But today, we want to introduce you to two men who may make you rethink how you see the men and women who serve and protect. Meet Sheriff Darryl Daniels and Police Chief Matthew Doering.
But it's about helping people in their time of need.
Police Chief Matthew Doering in Glenn County has been a police officer, a SWAT team member, and a firearms instructor. So he's had a long history with law enforcement.
So often, people don't know what we do. I mean, law enforcement is not about enforcing the law. It's about educating people on what the law is.
But he also wants the community he serves to get to know his police officers, and for his officers to get to know them.
Because people understand this. They know we have to enforce the law. That's our duty. That's our job. Every new officer we have goes through a full 8-hour course called Quality in Action Training, where we show examples about, here's a video, especially these days, videos are everywhere, and you take that video about how you should not do something. This is not a good interaction.
Then over in Clay County, Florida, Sheriff Darryl Daniels wants to do the same thing.
For those who think it's okay to commit crimes in Clay County, they need to beware. And if they have never heard or read Romans 13, I would refer them to around the fourth verse, and it says that those in authority don't bear the sword in vain. They're ministers of righteousness. I am not shy about professing my faith. Why would I be?
He believes it makes him a better man and a better sheriff that trickles down to his deputies and the community he serves.
In this capacity, not only am I beholden to my Creator, but I'm beholden to mankind. Right. There are folks who are trusting me to be the sheriff that they want me to be and to keep them and their family safe. Addressing the narcotics distribution, possession, anything tied back to narcotics is a priority for me. Okay. And I want that poison, and I say it anytime I get an opportunity, that poison to be removed from our neighborhoods and from our communities. And, I believe that in doing so, the resulting outcome will be a reduction in both crimes against property and crimes against persons.
The one thing about a medical emergency is that when you need help fast. And it can make the difference between life and death. We're going to take you to Montgomery, Alabama, and find out if you need help, they can fly you there for free. That's right, for free. Felicia Taylor with TBN Montgomery brings our story from the Montgomery Aviation Center.
Rosalind, we just want to get right in here and let's talk about your services that you offer as far as transporting ambulatory patients to their destinations.
Well, we fly people all over the nation for free. We never charge a dime. We are strictly transportation, not an ambulance, but we are equipped for comfort, just to make sure that they get there comfortably. We have a King Air C-90, which is a nice size plane. We can transport 9 people. So that gives us a chance to take more out. We fly, our average flights are out to MD Anderson in Houston, Texas, and those are cancer patients. Unfortunately, cancer is so prevalent that we are flying twice a week to Houston. I would say probably 89–90% of the flights that we make are cancer. Unfortunately, children, from infants all the way up to great-granddaddies. And then after that is to St. Jude Hospital up in Memphis, and then from there the Mayo clinics. There are times that we use a stretcher, and we are one of the few aircraft in the nation that is a free flight that has a stretcher. And those flights usually are either car accidents, or there are times that we'll get a phone call and say they've done all they can do out at MD Anderson and we need to get Daddy home. And he's well enough that he can fly, but he needs that extra help. So the ambulance will bring him to the airport, or whoever, the patient to the airport, and then we'll let them be on the stretcher so that they're comfortable. We do have to have doctors sign off saying that they're well enough to fly with us, because the change in atmosphere will affect their, if they have blood clots or anything like that, that's a problem. So we have to have physicians sign off saying that it's okay for them to fly with us.
And Rosalind, speaking of flying, how are you guys equipped on the plane to meet some of the needs of the patients that you're transporting?
At this point, we're company. and we're there to talk to them and to fly with them and to pray with them and keep them comfortable. You know, we'll have pillows and blankets, that type of thing on board. We have stuffed animals for the children, and then we have a group of volunteers that will make up gift packages that will have word puzzles and that type of thing in it, and candies and water and that type of thing, snacks, so that we've got just to keep them comfortable and occupied. Usually our flights are less than 2 hours, and an hour of flying in our plane is worth a day's driving. So that's the difference in being able to, you know, it's a 9 to 14-hour drive out to Houston from here in the southeast. So we are able to get them there within a couple of hours.
How important is prayer as you're transporting these patients?
Prayer is everything, and that is the most important thing that anyone can do for Pilots for Christ and the patients that we're flying is to pray. The prayer is everything to us. We start every flight with prayer. Our prayer team prays with them the night before the flight, with the patients and the caregivers, someone to talk to if they need to talk, because I know from experience being a caregiver, it's nice to have a shoulder to cry on if you need it.
And I'm glad you spoke about being a caregiver. Tell us just a little bit about that testimony that even got you in the area that you're in today with Pilots for Christ.
Yeah, we were called to Pilots for Christ 3.5 years ago. This was established 24 years ago. But we were called to it 3.5 years ago because my husband had a liver transplant. And so after being brought to our knees, we saw where we could help and facilitate, and we realized that God wasn't through with Johnny yet, my husband, and he is now the flight coordinator, and he's the one that deals with the patients and the caregivers, and who better to understand than someone that's been through it themselves.
Absolutely, and I call that being purposed, a purpose pilot for Christ.
That's right.
If someone wants more information, how they can volunteer or for donations, how can they reach out?
The best way just for us is to go to our website, pilotsforchrist.net.
Thank you, Felicia and Rosalind. What a wonderful program, right? And don't forget, that's pilotsforchrist.net. They can link you up with Pilots for Christ where you live. Thank you for watching our show. Don't forget, if you have a story that we need to know about, here's your chance to tell us. Take a look at your screen. Take a look right now. Go ahead, take a look. Share your information with us. And you never know, we may just show up in your town to spread a little joy. I'm Jaquetta Williams. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.